Is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next, it's an open line show, so pick up the phone and let's chat about what matters to you. Talk Today next on Radio Cayman. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Well, I'm going to be hanging around here for the next 2.5 hours or so, yeah. Just me and you. So we can, we can shoot the breeze, or we can chat about something more serious, some serious matters that you got on your mind. It's your show, so pick up the phone and give me a call. Let's chat. And looking at some of the news around Cayman, it's looking like the day is coming. I don't know how soon, but the day is coming when traffic violations will be enforced by automation right here in Cayman. Yeah, the government has issued what they call an RFP, or a request for proposals. That's when they, invite people to, bid basically for a project they have. And this particular RFP is for specialist consultancy support to design and help implement a new integrated traffic management and enforcement system. Enforcement. Yeah, so from what was said in the news release, this is going to be, very modern, very high-tech. Technology is going to be playing a big role in enforcement. Because the release actually says this system includes automated enforcement for speeding and other traffic violations, as well as wider traffic management functions, enforcement, and traffic management system. That looks like they're saying, like, if you're speeding, they'll catch you, and you probably won't even know they caught you. Until you get that ticket in the email, right? Open the email, and there you've been charged with, going 75 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. And it's not going to be something you can really fight. I mean, it's probably all recorded, and say, look, there you are, going 75 miles an hour there. All the same, I can hear some guy now giving that old shaggy excuse, it wasn't me. It wasn't me in the car, no. I left my car to my friend. It was my friend driving. And then the court says, like, well, get the money from your friend, but you're going to pay wherever you get the money from. So that's where we're headed now in traffic management in Cayman, getting all modern and high tech. Hopefully, though, that system will, ease the congestion in traffic court. Hopefully, instead of having to go down to court and plead guilty, if you're going to plead guilty anyway, well, you can just pull out the debit card and they'll have a fine there. If whatever it is that you just pay it right there in line, and maybe get some demerit points on your license. Because that's something that we need to do. You get stopped for speeding, you get so many points. You get in an accident, and it's your fault. You get some points. You get too many points. The old license is taken away. But yeah, you just pay the fine online and go about your life. We do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Charles. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You do a pretty good job talking to yourself, you realize that?
As long as I don't start answering myself back, I guess I'm okay.
Yes. That's when you need to get worried. Charles, I was by the waterfront this weekend, and I was looking at the how the weather was operating in town there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard or know anything that I don't know, but, looking at that, my personal view is that it's time for us to have another port somewhere. I don't know if the Spots area, I would suggest the Spots area, because we cannot continue like this. And something, if that weather went on for any amount of time, all you need to do is go into the... Oh, absolutely. And if you go into the supermarkets, the shelves can tell you exactly what effect it has on the effect that weather has on a lot of things in this country.
Oh, yeah.
So, me as a Caymanian, I think the time has come that we need to seriously consider, another alternative for discharging cargo, so we don't find ourselves in some of the situations that, places like Cuba or Venezuela or places like that might find themselves in, when it comes to getting goods delivered, because all of our fuel is discharged in the Georgetown area, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is another issue. I wouldn't expect something like that, because, I can get by with having an apple, some grapes, or something like that, or watermelon, but, I can get by without not having a gallon of gasoline, but I can't get by with having an apple or orange or something like that, because that's what my body needs. It doesn't need fuel or gasoline to operate. Well, that is my fuel and stuff to operate my food.
Right.
But I'm not too worried about the gas problem. If something was to ever happen that, for a long period of time, I think, we could still survive without any issues at all.
And they probably have some reserves.
I'm sorry?
I said the fuel suppliers probably have reserves also.
Yeah, they do, because they got their own tanks. CUC got their backup, tanks there that, which is fed right to them from the terminals, to my knowledge. But it's the food part of it that you look at the population of this island right now, 100,000 people, and I think, like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but something needs to be done. Something needs to be done soon regarding having another port as a backup. So.
Well, it's an old debate. It's an old debate, isn't it? That maybe Georgetown is no longer where we should have a port. Every so often that comes up, and it's something like this where you have several days of ships not being able to dock in Georgetown. That brings it to light.
Exactly. So I just hope someone from our government is listening, and something is looked into in the near future, because I'm so pleased with the work that this government is doing, and they're shedding so much light on things that have been neglected over the years. I thank them for that, because it should not be, right? Because that's what you are elected for, to have that knowledge and wisdom and foresight in order to see, beyond the horizon. What's in back of the horizon is more water, right? So it's just one of those things. So I just thought I'd throw that by you, Charles. I don't know if you heard anything, if there's any in the our future plans in order to try to see something like that.
Not recently. I haven't heard of any plans of exploring or investigating, putting the port at a different location. But like you say, when you go into stores and you see, especially in the produce section, the fresh vegetables are not there. Make sure see how important a port is.
Yeah. Anyway, Charles, I'll leave you with that, and have a good afternoon.
And you too.
Great. Folks there at Radio Cayman. Thank you very much.
Take care. We're going to take a break. Be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and staying with the subject of the port and the impact that bad weather has on our supplies coming in through the port of Georgetown. I got a WhatsApp message yesterday, which I didn't have a chance to read on the air, but was from the BRAC saying, enjoying the cool weather, but the rough seas is keeping the barge from bringing us food to Cayman BRAC, and that's you don't want the barge delayed when it's bringing you food. No. So and have a WhatsApp message here. It says, Charles, following up on the caller who mentioned Spots as the alternative site for a port, absolutely agree with that and endorse his sentiment. Spots has been tested and proven. There were cruise ships there all of last week and up to yesterday. Let's not do the usual Cayman thing and try to reinvent the wheel. Let's dive straight in and continue with the development of Spots Dock. So another person, giving a vote to Spots being a permanent port. Well, I'm certainly no expert on those kind of things, but maybe you have an opinion about that. Spots always serves as the reserve when Georgetown is closed due to bad weather. maybe it's now time, as these two people think that it is the place to put a permanent port. We can discuss that if you want. As I said at the top of the show, it's open line, and the numbers to call 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo, and you can also call 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp us 925-3261. Give us a call on WhatsApp. You can send a message. You can leave a voice note, whichever one suits you best. And community policing is back, and that's a good thing to hear about. That neighborhoods will once again have officers assigned to them to communicate with the people in that neighborhood. I know in the Prospect neighborhood, when we had a neighborhood beat officer there, that was a good thing. It was someone that you had a connection to. They got to know the people in the neighborhood, and it was someone that you could always just contact if you see something not right. And it could be anything, and you could rely on your beat officer to take care of something. So nice to see that back, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy to see those beat officers in their neighborhoods again. Well, we've been talking last week. I was talking about our government actually preparing for the possibility of an influx of Cuban migrants, due to the fact that conditions there are getting worse and worse and worse. It's actually speeded up, due to the fact that what has gone on in Venezuela, because Venezuela was, close with the Cuban government and was there to give them fuel. And since the U.S. action in Venezuela, from what we can tell, that fuel is no longer available to Cuba as it was previously, and things keep getting worse there. And the government, the Cayman Islands government, has been preparing for an influx of Cuban migrants due to the deteriorating conditions in Cuba, and hiring interpreters, making contingency plans. So if it was to happen, maybe we would be better prepared than what we were back when we had that influx. But in talking about that, guess what? 10 Cuban men landed on Little Cayman on Saturday. So is that the first of many to come? Well, and Cuba is currently experiencing a severe, multifaceted. This report that I looked up here says Cuba is currently experiencing a severe, multifaceted crisis characterized by a collapsing electrical grid, acute shortages of food, medicine, and fuel, and a significant surge in infectious diseases like dengue and oropuche. Never really heard of that one, but looking it up, it is a virus and quite serious. And the country is also facing a downward spiral in tourism. No one wants to go to a country with really bad conditions. Rising poverty, and deteriorating political situation. And this is following on from the fall of its ally, Venezuela. Severe, ongoing, and widespread blackouts are reported across Cuba. And, of course, this is due to a failing energy system. Health and disease, again, it's a serious situation. A major health crisis is how it's being described, with shortages of essential drugs, and again, the outbreaks of diseases. There are acute shortages of food, water, fuel, and the only way you can get those things is just, especially when it comes to food, fuel, a reliance on the black market. And, of course, travelers not going there. The political situation, increased repression of dissent, with over 1,000 political prisoners reported. The country is what is being called a post-Maduro era, impacting its regional alliances. And the cold front that just came through, actually caused flooding. So things not looking good. Again, is this boat with 10 men fleeing Cuba, and all the problems and the deteriorating conditions. Are these 10 men the first of more to come? Well, we hope not, but the fact is, things seem to be only getting worse in Cuba. I guess we just have to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. We're going to take a break. Be right back. Caller, hang in there.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Kim and Brack and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Aunt Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air. How are you doing?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Charlo. I'm all right, I guess. Enjoying the nice school spell, you know.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Yeah. What I'm calling for, Charlo. I just noticed something on the road driving coming down from Bordentown, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of marl or some stuff, some kind of aggregate over the road. When you drive, it's kicking up and stuff.
Yeah.
Come to find out, when I reach down by Low Valley, I see this truck pull over to the side. One of these big dump trucks, overloaded, and the stuff is coming out, leaking out from the back of the truck.
Did he have cover? Did he have cover?
The tailgate couldn't close properly, so the stuff is coming out, making a mess all over the road. And where he stopped, a whole pile of the stuff came out right in front of somebody's driveway almost. He's there trying to see what he can do. I try to get on to NRA to find out, what can do, if they can deal with, who I can report it to, couldn't get them, call, extensions and everyone is, not available. But anyway, I just decided to, voice it out on the air that whoever is in charge, the authorities, that these trucks, they be flying up and down, speeding up and down the place.
Yeah.
B, most times they're overloaded, like in the instance of this, which is then creating a mess on the road, which is called, as an impediment for drivers.
Did you notice if they even had a cover over, the tarp?
They got a cover, but they ain't got a cover over the stuff. I took his license plate number, I forgot though, what didn't, it was afterwards I realized I should have took a picture. But it's just, the point is, there's no control, man. I don't know what the police do or don't do, because these trucks are all the time you see it, for instance, and the stuff is wet, you see, it's wet stuff, so it's pouring out from under the tailgate and got a whole road all messed up.
So, I mean, in your opinion, have they created a hazard there on that road because of this?
Yes, it's created because the stuff is it's gravelly stuff. So when you drive on it, they're kicking up in front of you, kicking it up onto the vehicle behind.
Yes.
Which can cause,
crack a windshield or something.
Windshield, scratch your paint, even a small dents on your vehicle, and then it's wet. You gotta be careful, slip on it or something, But it's and I don't know who, like I said, I didn't make no sense call the police because,
Well, I would think that it's some kind of traffic violation. That overloading.
Well, do we have a traffic division?
Well, as far as I know.
So, yeah. But, so I just said, boys, put it over the air, maybe here that can check into it, these situations, because that truck going, I don't know how far west he's going, but, so the whole length of the road, however far he's going, is going to be messed up with this stuff that's leaking out of the truck, pouring out,
Yeah, and once he's on the road like that, you say he stopped and stuff from
he stopped and pulled over, and they were trying to see. I saw them there trying to see what they could do to get down the thing, but they can't do that because that truck is so full.
That's what I was going to say. Once you're on the road like that, it's hard to do anything.
You can't, So it's just like I say, in any vehicle that's going to be driving directly behind that truck.
Yeah.
Better, stay far because the stuff is like I say, just pouring out because and like I say, if things would happen, if they would be stopped or accosted for a situation that maybe they might overload these trucks so much, but that's the whole point, you see, trying to overload them, then they're speeding, with these trucks. These overloaded trucks going at 50, 60 miles an hour on the road, that's another problem. So,
but you think, your common sense would tell you, well, the driver would not want to overload the truck because there has to be some inherent danger in overloading one of those trucks.
That's common sense, I think, but then that's all overruled by greed.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're looking to get as much as they can carry,
and make as many trips as possible in a day.
Possible. That's common sense goes by the way.
Yeah, but in thinking about it, I have seen a truck stopped by police, and just from what was going on, you could tell the discussion was about the cover. You know.
Yeah.
So that must be a police matter.
The thing, the cover is they look kind of tattered anyway, but it's not pulled over the load. But in this instance, that wouldn't help because this looks like wet stuff, and it's actually coming up from under the tailgate, you know.
Right.
So even with a cover on, in this particular instance, I don't think it would make much difference, you know. But I know what you mean when they have, like, when stuff is dry, they have the dry stuff, and with a cover, and it can be blowing and, you know, creating this, you know, problem as well. But the whole thing is, man, these trucks just run, you know, unregulated, nothing, you know, unless they get in an accident or something.
Yeah.
Then, you know, but generally speaking, you hardly ever see them being pulled over for speeding or for overloading or anything like that.
And also, what does that do to the roads with as many of those huge dump trucks that we have running up and down, right? Because I know in the States, there are actually weight limits on the highways.
Yes.
Because of the pressure that, you know, you're running all the time.
That's what leads to, you know, because, you know, they just had to repave that whole stretch of road there. Because for years, I don't think from the time we put down it was ever. And, you know, is the weight of all these vehicles, B, the amount of vehicles.
Yeah.
Because originally these roads weren't engineered to withstand that kind of weight and the amount of traffic now that's on the road, you know. So eventually it will deteriorate the road surface, which means more expense to maintain and to repair, you know.
And let me tell you, you got some huge trucks out there now.
Yeah. And this is one of those with the long back, you know.
Yeah.
Extra long back. And so.
Well,
and the sad part is all the quarries being on the east side up, and, you know.
Yeah.
Or everything, you know, the whole from Breakers East End area all the way down to West Bay, wherever they're going, you know. So, but it's just another, you know, inadequacy of our police of traffic, overseeing traffic, you know, because it's so much, you know, these.
You know, I want to think it's, you know, another one of those aspects of our development where things move so fast that the system can't keep up.
Keep up with it. We've outpaced ourselves.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That G word, brother.
It's amazing since the shutdown with COVID. And once we opened back up, it was like we opened back up with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Like we lost time. We got to make up
we got
time
to
here.
back up. And it's just this whole thing. You know, it's funny. I was just having a conversation with a little gentleman earlier this morning, talking about the same thing, the development, the pace of development, and, you know, the population. And we're talking about 100,000, and, you know, we had. I believe we reached that already, because I don't think they really know how many people are here officially.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I do believe we, you know,
if we're not there, we're touching on it.
Get on it, right? And then the next question is 100,000, you know. And we're not got the infrastructure for 60,000 people, and yet we're screaming to increase population to 120,000 people. You know, it's just crazy, man. You know, I don't know.
Well, you know, population. I mean, there's two sides to the coin, right? I mean, population turns an economy. Money is, you know, exchanging hands. It increases the possibilities for business. But, like you're saying, it also strains the infrastructure.
It strains everything.
Yeah.
You know? If you don't prepare, you know, just growing for growing's sake, you know. And the thing is, our model of development is, you know, that it's basically an unsustainable model, because how much development can we do? How much, you know, can we comfortably stand, or with, how much, it's just because at this rate we're just going. What we're going to do, develop every inch of land, build up on every inch of land in Cayman and build everywhere. After that, what we do then to maintain, So.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen things develop in Cayman at a pace that, in just 2-4 years, that would take other places 10 years to do.
Okay, yeah.
But
like you see, like I said, that's how much of them, because government depend on that, on the fees from these, types of development and the work permit fees for the bringing in the people that have to work for it. It's a kind of.
So is that the price we pay for being a tax-free jurisdiction?
I don't know if it's tax-free, but it's the price you pay for the path that we have chosen to go down.
We don't call it taxes, but we call it fees or or duty.
Yeah. Duty, or what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, yes, when we were John, 10, 12,000 people back in the 70s and early 80s and them kind of times, yes, those kind of fees and duties and stuff could. But now with the all that we have to provide now, or government has to provide, and all the other expenses, that just can't do it, fees and how much tax and duties and everything can you do? Eventually, people don't want to hear it, but I always have to call him the tax man, Mickey.
Yeah.
But eventually, we gotta look into what they call payroll tax, income tax. You know what I mean? This kind of, this, like I said, is unsustainable, this model. So if that's what government is depending on to get its,
As a matter of fact, now that you say that, somewhere in the recesses of my brain, I remember some report way back, and this report surmised that if the population went over 100,000 or even reached 100,000, maybe it said, that we would have to look at income tax because the financial means of the government was not there from all these fees to support infrastructure needed for 100,000 people.
Some people. So I mean, I don't know, when, maybe not my lifetime, but eventually they're going to have to seriously consider, income tax, because, like I said, this model that we're on is unsustainable. And Rich, I'll leave you this one. You remember that Joni Mitchell song, "They Pay Paradise to make a parking lot"?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yep. Well, that's what we have.
That's us. That's us.
Paradise to make a parking lot.
Thanks for the call. Enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Take care. It's 1 o'clock. Time for the news.
Covering Little Cayman, Kim and Brad.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Cayman's crime-fighting hotline says anonymous information is directly driving recent police successes. Cayman Crime Stoppers confirmed in a February 3rd statement from Georgetown that it has authorized cash rewards for several recent tips that helped identify suspects and secure search warrants, but cannot contact winners because the system is 100% anonymous. Chairman Travis Stanley is urging anyone who's filed a tip to go online or use the mobile app, enter the unique reference number, and quietly collect the reward with identity protected at every step. In international news, an independent review has identified 890 accounts at Credit Suisse with potential Nazi links, including wartime accounts for the German Foreign Office, an arms maker, and the German Red Cross, and fresh evidence of ties to the SS. UBS, which rescued Credit Suisse in 2023, says it's cooperating with investigators to complete the review by year-end in what could become a defining test of transparency for one of Europe's most important banking centers. And speaking of the continent, the European Commissioner told the BBC that the EU is, quote, ready to engage with an open mind if the UK wants to discuss a new customs union-style deal that could remove most food checks and deepen single market cooperation in selected sectors. He also signaled the bloc is open to Britain joining its €150 billion defence loan scheme and reviving stalled security financing talks, even though Labour still rules out re-entering the full customs union or single market. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Peter's Cave in Cayman Brac is located on the north coast near the top of the bluff, offering a nice view of the north side bluff from its entrance. The cave consists primarily of a single large chamber with several formations where visitors can stand upright. With additional crawls to explore, it is home to bats and the brown booby, a seabird. Renowned as a hurricane refuge, Peter's Cave can reportedly accommodate up to 100 people. In 1932, many residents saved their lives by sheltering in the cave during a hurricane. In 1997, concrete steps were built to provide easier access to the cave.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's take a look at the weather. A beautiful 73 degrees out in Georgetown. Wind out of the east-northeast at a little over 14.5 knots. Humidity 58%. That's a nice humidity. Overall, a nice day, nice and windy. And the wind will continue through this evening. Cloudy skies expected tonight. And you can expect winds to continue at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas are rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet and a small craft alert is in effect. And let's see what the longer-term forecast is looking like here. Dry and windy conditions with cloudy skies will continue through today and begin gradually subsiding later tonight as an associated high-pressure system centered across Florida moves into the Atlantic. The recent frontal system will drift back across the Western Caribbean and become stationary until Thursday, bringing some rain. And another approaching but less impactful cold front will bring windy conditions, cool temperatures, and rough seas, particularly along the western shores on Friday. So the cool weather sticking around. I know everybody says they love it, unless you're being impacted by, some of those rough seas. And as one of our callers, the very first one, was talking about how the weather affects the use of the port, and we can see it reflected in the grocery store when you go, because if ships can't dock, then we can't bring in food, and of course that brings up the question of food security, which is a very good intentions to say, well, we must have food security, but with the population where it is now, is that even a realistic goal? Can Cayman really be secure in providing its own food? I don't think so. Backyard gardening and having your own little supply, well, that's one thing. But, not everybody can have the luxury of having a backyard garden, backyard farming, some people might call it. If you're living in an apartment, maybe if you have a balcony, you could have a little tomato plant out there, right? But that's a goal that we always would like to achieve, but I don't see that as possible, not in the modern day Cayman. And of course, every piece of land that people get, it seems like, pouring concrete over it. And we've talked about a number of things here. We've talked about the port should be moved to spots. That was brought up at the top of the show. We also had a caller talking about, being behind a truck, dumping its load onto the road, causing a hazard. And we've seen that more than one time in Cayman. What's on your mind? Pick up the phone, give me a call, let's chat. Numbers to call, 1-800-534-8255, courtesy of Flow, 949-8037, and 949-6990. And, of course, WhatsApp. Give us a call on WhatsApp, 925-3261. Leave us a message or, give us a call. And one of the more popular topics, if not maybe the most popular topic on this show is immigration. And before I get into that, let me take the call that's on the line there. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Glidden. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, man. I just wanted to say something about what the caller was saying before, the truck drivers them on the road.
Yeah.
I think what is happening there, they do fix their things properly that they're carrying on the road. Because I remember my wife was driving her car going to Rum Point one morning about 10 o'clock. And there was a piece of iron fell off of the truck, slide underneath her car,
Mm.
and burst up her muffler.
Good thing
And
it
that
didn't
piece
hit
of
her,
iron
hit her
was
windshield or
still
something.
it could fly in her windshield and kill her.
Yeah.
And I mean, the driver for the truck, he just gone down the road and she was going up the road. So there's no way she could stop to turn back to drive him down. She said, hey, something fly off of your truck and hit my car bottom and damage the muffler. It cost me over $200 to fix back that muffler. It still don't even fix back good as it should.
And you didn't even know who to collect from.
Don't even know who to collect from. So what he's saying is perfectly right. I think sometimes they need to walk around, check your vehicle, especially, your truck carrying stuff that could cause dangerous harm to other motorists.
If you're going to call yourself a professional truck driver, you would think you would do that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Make sure that everything's tied down securely on a truck, or if it's a dump truck, that your load is not too heavy, that you're not overloaded, and cover it up.
Yes, it's true. So I just wanted to, reach out to you and let you know that, what he's saying is perfectly right, because it happened to, apparently I would say happened to me, but it happened to my wife on the road driving. So, and, when I went to get that assessment on the muffler to fix it, I was to buy back a muffler and replace that one because it hit it in the drum. And once it hit the drum and the drum damaged, there's a big hole in it, tear it up. It sounds like a bike when you're driving it.
Yeah.
And,
it's ruined.
Yeah. And who it costs? It just costs us to fix it back. And that person gone about his business. And it could happen to somebody else again. So, because it's negligence. It's not, persons who check in what they're carrying, if it's safe, if it's strapped down properly, or, So, I kind of give him a thumbs up for that. I think, sometimes they need to, double check when they're carrying stuff on their truck. That's what I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know.
Well, thanks for the call.
Yeah, man.
You have a good afternoon.
You too. Okay.
And speaking of that, maybe more should be required to drive one of those big trucks rather than just being able to handle the truck behind the wheel. Maybe some type of training should be required as to, safety and the responsibility that you have when you drive one of those big trucks. Because, it's not like driving a car. It's a huge machine. You're carrying, in the case of a dump truck, how much fuel does one of those things carry? It must be tons, a couple of tons maybe, more than a couple probably. And then when you're carrying, supplies on the back of a truck, and a lot of those are just open beds. If it's not secure, things will fall off. But like this gentleman here was just saying, you would think a driver would walk around the truck and make sure that everything is secure, before hitting the road. But sometimes it takes a little training to put that into someone's head, because you can back up a big truck, park it someplace, you know how to make a turn, but there's also a lot of safety aspects and responsibility when you drive one of those trucks. But getting back to what I was starting here as far as immigration being, one of the favorite topics that not only on this show, but for the record or any kind of talk show, immigration is a topic that brings out a lot of opinion, a lot of emotion sometimes. But while it's at the top of the list of things to discuss over many years, the angle of discussion is usually from the point of the perspective of employment and Caymanians being marginalized while foreign workers take jobs that can be performed by Caymanians. And another thing we often hear of, that Caymanians run into glass ceilings when they are employed. They find it hard to progress. They're not being given the opportunity to fulfill their potential. And you hear that complaint, particularly in the financial industry or, some other kind of managerial level job that gives you upward mobility and being able to improve your employment. And there's good reason that we hear about that, of course. That's a complaint that, is certainly there whenever the subject of immigration comes up. But there's another aspect that you don't necessarily hear very much about. The aspect of immigration from small businesses, where, and I've heard, a number of small business owners, and I've experienced it, say how they hire someone on a work permit. Everything's cool. Things go ahead. Things move along. Things go well for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Then at some point, maybe it's at the expiration of a work permit or whatever, at some point, this work permit employee, you're given notice that they're leaving your business. Why? Because they're going to start their own business. Because during the years that they've been working in your business, people strike up relationships and they've linked up with someone who has Cayman status, and together they're going to go start a business. 2 or 3 years ago, you were on a work permit. Now you're a local business owner, competing most likely with the person who brought you in the first place, at least in some way. The person who gave you that first work permit, now you are going to go link up with someone that allows you to be a partner in a business. And the reason I'm saying that most likely you're competing with the business that brought you to Cayman is because that's where your expertise is. Your expertise is in this business that brought you here. So you say, I have the opportunity to go and do this myself when I came here on a work permit. I don't know, there's something about that that doesn't strike me as, how you would say, kosher, maybe for the want of a better word. especially when you're going to be, competing with someone who gave you the opportunity to come into Cayman. You didn't come here to do business. You weren't like someone that has the capital to come and you say, I want to start a business in Cayman, and you put out all the notices and so forth about seeking a Caymanian partner, and because you have the means to do it. You came as a worker, and then you advance to being a business owner and giving competition to the Caymanian who gave you the opportunity to come here. I know the recent changes to our immigration laws now require you come here, you have to work at least 2 years before you change out. That, I'm told, should help that situation of people doing that, competing with people the very business that brought you to Cayman in the first place. But it's just for 2 years. And it probably takes you about that long to build up relationships with someone where you could go and form a partnership with someone who has Caymanian status and enter into the world of being a small business owner. But I think that only increases the friction that we have, where not only where Caymanian workers aren't competing with foreign workers, but now Caymanian business people, especially it's small business, is now having to compete against people who they probably even have, because of the connection they've made, they may even have more resources than you and are able to compete with you better than you are able to compete with them. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good day. I'll be saying, and I'll call you again for a little while.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, Charlo.
Yeah. I missed the first part of what you were saying.
I said every single day I'd be saying I'm not going to call you for a while, and then you go and do stuff and say stuff that stirs me up. I'm off this. I'm enjoying the sweet breeze, thank God. There's many things that you talked about. Let me start with the latter first, and I won't spend a lot of time there. I laughed. I was eating, and I laughed. I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed because I almost want to say, like, okay, man, should they serve you right? Should have hired a Caymanian. Yeah, serve you right.
I tried. I tried.
Yeah?
I tried.
Mm-hmm. No, because you refused to hire a Caymanian. You thought your business. And you know what? Let me set the ground. Let me take it out of the personal space. It's sad that Caymanians have had to start businesses circumvented and ring-fence their own people in order to make it happen, because that was the model that we've been presented for so very long. And so businesses like Caymanians have been built on that same entire model. What a sad state of terms of lack of vision from leaders that perpetuated that madness and continue to. And I just thank God that our government, we have some people in there that sees a little differently. But here's a couple of things in terms of what you just said. When I think about, and I heard it when it came out, I was like, wow, we just locked in, somebody on an expatriate worker, a guest worker, at least for a job for 2 years. So we were addressing one thing, and then we cause another problem. So the purpose of course, tying them to not being able to move to another job was to just stop that. They're brought into the country, probably by more than likely 99% of the time by Caymanian company, and then they're abandoned within a year or so. So we tag on that you can't move for 2 years. Well, that locks that job for 2 years because the employer now don't want to go hire somebody else because he's got somebody there. And so, and the whole thrust of our reform was to look at trying to get Caymanians in jobs. But that's for another day. You know, some of these things we don't quite think through a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we just can't be, hey, you can't move and that's it. Or train a Caymanian, how about that? That's a new light bulb. Find a Caymanian, spend some time and quality like you do trying to get somebody from overseas. That's what I'll say to that. I was thinking about the first few conversations you had, Charlo, in regards to and otherwise, and I don't want to get into that too deeply, except to say, you know, when you said, you know, there isn't a better example that we may need to address an alternative port, but to go into grocery stores and see perhaps less produce. And I kept thinking to myself, no, there isn't a better example, like you mentioned later, for food. And you mentioned the whole thought process of, or you alluded to, you certainly challenged the thought about whether we could have some form of that. And I'm of the belief that we could, Charlo. Maybe it's a small mind.
You're talking about the food security. Food security?
Yeah, food security.
Yeah.
Food security. It is possible on many levels if we have a concerted effort for it. And, you know, I had an opportunity to visit some time ago, and I don't know if you know the story behind them, but in a nutshell, I mean, Israel, as it continues today, is for a big part anyway. They're very regionally hated, if you will. And they realized the need for food security out in the middle of a desert. And government after government plowed into that whole entire effort, found ways of providing and making food and making it happen in the desert. And now they are one of the greatest providers of food, not just for themselves, but also for those who hate them around them. Look it up. And so anything is possible when you have a concerted government that thinks along that line, invests along that line. No, we want to destroy our fowls, for example, when I talked to you a few weeks ago. You know, why aren't we looking at starting there? Not just, you know, agriculture, and that could be possible. But even if we provide for 50,000 at the end of the day, if we ever had a crisis where we couldn't come in anyway, that all intents and purposes is really what we're responsible for, you know, to put it bluntly. But anyway, Charlo, there's so many little things that, as it raised its head, in my view, we don't have to drill down into it too much, you know. For as long as I've been alive, Charlo, we've had storms every northwesters or otherwise. I mean, that's been going on for a very long time. So
yeah.
We're not going to fall apart, I don't think. We've lived with it, and unless we provide some sort of food security, we'll have to continue to live with it. And even if we get an alternative space, maybe the boat can't even make it through the water far beyond us. I'm just saying we need to get all bent out of shape. I just don't want our government, this current one, to get bogged down and distracted on so many things. They need to do a couple of key things to help Caymanians to feel like we're in Cayman still again. That's really where I'm at right now, and all else can be handled in due time, man. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you for the call. But what I was going to say, was, you know, I mean, the possibility of real long term, when you say the port's being affected by weather for, you know, 2 months or something like that. I mean, that is not probably going to happen.
Exactly.
That's going to be closed that long. A week, maybe 2 weeks, that you have a sustained nor'westers coming in here one after the other. that the ships, maybe that's possible. But, I guess you're not going to have people in the streets starving with that either. And, of course, you always have airlift that you can try and get food in also.
Yes, Charlo. And that's my exact, yes, and that's my exact point, Charlo. And I mean, we were tested during the pandemic. All countries were. And thank God we were able to maneuver through that. We did some amazing things to make that happen as well, and I have no doubt, God is still God and sits on the throne. So he provides where there seems to be no way for those who have that belief. So, I just think that sometimes we've created more issues, and we just need to get very distracted and continue to address the issue that I think that is glaring before us. That immigration one is a key one, and it's not to cause any trepidation to our guest workers or otherwise, because I've saw some videos that kind of make me scratch my head, like, what are they equating Cayman to what's happening north of us? Because there's no comparison, But we need to get it right, man. And some of these businesses need to change that model. The owners need to change their mindset. They need to look for that single Caymanian. And you got 5 employees, try to see if you can find 2 and try to replace those in terms of getting Caymanians on there and treat them well. They'll stay with you as well. I'm a Caymanian, so I can only speak Caymanian.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
All right. Have a good afternoon.
You too, sir.
Be right back after this break.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
For 50 years, Radio Cayman has been the heartbeat of our islands, informing, connecting, and giving Cayman a voice. From breaking news to community stories, the journey continues. Radio Cayman, 50 years of excellence and still going strong.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And a WhatsApp message here. Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. I agree that a work permit holder should not be allowed to suddenly become a company owner that competes with a Caymanian business. I hope that the new immigration law closes this loophole. And that 2-year requirement will probably help some. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Charles. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Enjoying the weather. I was out in town yesterday in Triplet. I said, geez, and peace, man. I tell you, it's mighty cold.
It was.
Yes, sir.
How was the harbor down there when you were downtown?
Man, it was really chilling, and today was worse.
But what about the sea?
I saw 2 people fall down yesterday.
Oh,
and I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know how it happened. I don't know, but their husbands picked them up. I said, "Geez, man, that's terrible, man."
Were these visitors, tourists?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay.
Could have been,
Yeah.
but
The sea was rough down there yesterday, wasn't it?
It got a little better, and then today is a lot smoother today. But I tell you, I don't know what's happening, and
It's a good old Nor'wester.
Sir?
It's a good old Nor'wester.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Mr. Charlo, I'm saying no. This is what I've been looking at the various different models of businesses, and I try to look into the future, like what sort of what sort of Cayman are we gonna have, like. Because the businesses are advancing. You know, you got a lot of businesses related to, you know, like these more advanced type businesses, and I think it could have something to do with people not being employed too, because they're not as advanced as they need to be. Some people aren't that good with computers. Some don't know about this type of business, and so that's why probably a lot of people flock the road works. Like when they got road works and stuff like that, they flock that because you know, that area, and always seek to be employed in that area because some probably aren't that savvy in other areas. I look at, you know, various restaurants, and I say, well, I wonder sometimes why a lot of our people aren't employed there in certain places, certain restaurants and stuff. I mean, look at it now. You got minimum wage up to $8.75 now, and I would like to know what's happening with the unemployment. What the level is at this time.
Well, it's supposed to be low. 2.4 or 2.9, something like that.
But definitely, I know I don't think that our people could fill all the jobs. No, it's a lot of jobs, you know.
That's what
no,
being said. We have more jobs than we have Caymanians to fill them.
Yeah, but I was looking into the future as a young man, you know, Mr. Charlo, and I decided, because my father, he was a mason, and he taught me quite a bit about it. And then I learned some other stuff and kept on learning different things. I learned how to cut hair, and I started a little business with it. And right now, a lot of people ask me to continue cutting their hair, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And, you know, I'm doing my little poetry and doing my music, so I'm quite occupied. But I say it to inspire other people that you can do some different things. You can do different areas of art, and you can try to do, because the real and truly, you know, Mr. Charlo, the foreigners are the leaders, you know.
Really?
Well, I mean, we as a small little group of people, I mean, we can't lead England, we can't lead this one and that one. We got to follow them, you know. So we got to follow what they do and try to achieve, you know, something by you know, learning from them. You know, they teach us. You know, we didn't have a lot of masons in Cayman. It was more carpenters. You know, when it concerns buildings and stuff like that, you know, we got to learn from a lot of foreign people. You know, all these new type modern buildings and high-rise buildings and stuff like that. You know, architecture. Cayman wasn't that advanced. And we need to get up to speed. That's what I'm really saying, too. We
Okay.
need to, we really need to get up to speed. You know what I mean, Mr. Charles?
All right. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
You take care.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
So, the subject of food security came up a while ago. And, whether Cayman can really have food security. But, and one of the caller there was talking about how Israel was able to achieve food security to the point of being able to export food. Of course, one of the things that, even though it is desert and they have been able to turn it to farmland, is you got to have some space. You got to have an area of land that you can actually develop. I don't know if you remember a company called For the Land Farms. They were operating in Cayman for a while. I think they must have left Cayman somewhere around in the maybe early or in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s. But they used to have, farmland up east. And I remember talking to the guy, and he said they were moving out of Cayman, and they had bought land in Belize. And the reason was that they simply couldn't scale the operation to where they needed to take it to make it, a truly profitable a profitable operation. They just didn't have the land space in Cayman, because farming on a large scale, where we're talking about being able to feed the population that we have now, you need some area to grow that amount of food and different types of food. And you need good soil. And even if the good soil can be overcome by, modern science, you still need that area to grow things. And that's land space is something that is limited in Cayman. And that's why For the Land Farms, and yes, that was a commercial operation, so of course they were looking for ways to scale the operation up in order to be able to make profit. And they could do that in Belize because they had the acreage. And they found that they were restricted in how much they could actually develop in Cayman, just simply because of land area. So that's another thing that we have, going against us as far as large-scale food supply and being able to actually feed ourselves. Even back in the day when people had their grounds and they grew their cassava and yams and pumpkins and some plantains and bananas. It was all very a small scale, and even if they were selling it, you didn't have the kind of population that we're talking about today that needs to be supplied with food. So that is something that we can certainly hope to do. Whether it's achievable, well, I guess it's debatable, but with the population headed toward 100,000 people now, I don't see how we could possibly be secure as far as the food supply on our own. Maybe you think differently. I have to take a break. I'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
There's nothing more important than your health, and seeking expert healthcare with physicians you can trust is what you deserve. UHealth, the University of Miami Health System, offers peace of mind to you and your family with a first-class experience. Our patient coordinators assist with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. As South Florida's only academic-based health system, UHealth offers cutting-edge treatment, compassionate care, and life-changing results just a flight away. Learn more at umiamihealth.org/international.
The 8:12 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today, and we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Channel.
Yes.
Yes, a taxman call it.
Yes.
Yes, getting to be that time in the United States now when we find nerve-shattering big accountants and lawyers and big businessmen are quaking in their shoes because of that powerful correction agency, the IRS. It doesn't matter how big you think you are, they'll bring you down to size.
Didn't they cut back on their staff, though?
Yeah, they've cut back because of equipment now with the modernization of it, technology. Just like anywhere else, where you used to have the guy employed going around the store taking inventory. Now one person can replace four with a little handheld computer and so forth, and scanner and things like that. And you notice that when I used to go up to Canada very often in the 90s and so forth, quite often I should say, and I noticed that the banks, the employees had dwindled from like 20 to like 6, and that was the reason why. Most people don't want to face the fact that one of the main reasons for the creation of computers is to reduce the cost of labor. You reduce that by employing less people, and there's no need for insurances and so forth and pension payments out by companies, and they save a lot in the long run. Though they may pay millions of dollars for the computer system, in the long run they save a lot of money, and there's no getting away from that, and no use for people lying anymore, economists and all that. That is not the main reason for the deployment of so much IT, work and use of that discipline. Anyhow, what a lot of very good information given out there. That's the reason why with the traffic thing with the big dump trucks, I suggested we stop this, I call it nonsense, of taking in vehicles inspected, when we could have those same, qualified and knowledgeable inspectors out on the roads with the police at different points and pull people over, because we see so many cars on the road that's really not fit to be there, and many of them no license plate lights, no rear lights. The list goes on and on and on, and then the broad daylight is very evident, and the truck issue, that's a major issue. and it must be handled out there on the road, pull over. There are many spots you can think of throughout the island where you could pull over a big truck and have an inspector and so forth there. Look at it. It doesn't have to be every mile, every 2-3 miles, but there are places where they would have to stop. And it's mandatory. If you don't stop, then you can forget about a vehicle on the road. Things like that, just like they do in the United States and Canada for the longest time now. They pull you off and so forth. Anyhow, on the vehicles, the same thing we can do. They're not that big a place. Not that big a place at all. The report thing, absolutely, we need to have another port. We need to have one. What was suggested, and people saw the plans, it was on TV with it, a well thought out, well planned 3,000 foot square all weather port built in Red Bay, where every captain, every mariner has always said it's the best place for a port. Was Red Bay. Your father always said so.
Yeah, I know.
My father.
A lot of people advocated Red Bay.
The late Captain Paul, who just passed on, he talked about it very often. He was one of the planners of that, along with Captain McCoy, who just passed on, a well respected top-class captain holding a very rare license. And Captain Bobby Soto, he was all for it. He told me personally that making Red Bay, there's nothing out there really. The dredging would be done, and we'd build that, and it would be for all weather, except when a hurricane. No ship is going to come in here in a hurricane, but it could handle what we're having now. You would have those in there 3,000 foot by 3,000 foot, 3,000 feet across and out. So you get a 3,000 foot port that any ship can turn around in. Even these big liners coming in here, they can turn around in that. They can back out. They have the thrusters and et cetera, et cetera. And the other big vessels turning around, the cargo vessels, they can accommodate at the same time, all weather.
But tell me something. Do you think the
it would have been finished now, because it would have taken 3 years, they reckon, to build it.
Yeah.
$300 million, and that would have been easily spent out, say if it even rose to $400 million. It would have been done. This is about 7 years ago, 6 years ago at least.
And then there's been development around Red Bay.
Yes, but that is the reason why there's opposition to it. I won't bother to go into that.
But I'm saying that
money talks.
Does that take Red Bay out of the equation now of a possible?
Well,
because of the development.
I don't really know. It could be planned around that, and they're going to use the fill from what they dredged up to do the extension on the airport, which would be very nearby. It could provide for that extension out into the sound. That we seem to be going to do that if we're going to attract a huge aircraft from across the pond, so to speak. The thing is, the will. The spots is okay, but you'd have to develop that. For vessels to dock their cargo vessels, they'd have to come in. You'd have to carry that out another 600 feet, quite possibly. The biggest vessels, the seaboard, come in here and so forth. They'd carried out another 600 feet, some dredging. And then we've got to understand something has got to be sacrificed. If we're so gung-ho on developing the country, I remember a question asked by Mr. McKeever Bush, that seasoned veteran politician, where is the money going to come from? That's the first thing we have to ask ourselves. We want all these things, but where is it going to come from? It has to come from somewhere. So therefore, the kind of development we're doing, we have to sacrifice something. We saw where we sacrificed 4,000 and odd acres of mangroves along the West Bay Road. We built all those condos and stuff on them along the North Sound here. Many young people who have come here to live for the last 40, 50 years and so don't realize they're living on pumped-up land. It's all dredged-up land. Those huge, beautiful lakes they see is dredged-up lakes, man-made lakes.
Yeah.
It wasn't there at Salt Creek, etc., etc. But we've got to understand that. And this is why I've always suggested we need to have that other port. It's absolutely necessary. And, one contention, Captain Paul and I had many talks we had. The only disagreement with him, I know what he's saying. We can build a pier in Georgetown, but can we use it? Engineering is right there. The thing we've got to realize is we kind of have no choice. Build and extend that pier there, we've got to agree. And we can put piers elsewhere too, but if we're going to stay in the cruise ship business, I've always maintained this, and I refuse to back down from it. We've got to have to build a pier for those cruise ships to dock at. There are many things involved in it. Many of the people who talk and oppose it don't have any direct connection with the cruise industry at all. And if you're watching it, involved in it, they would know why I say so. Anyway,
Mickey,
Charlotte,
good to hear from you.
Take care. God bless you. I listen on. Bye.
We have another caller. Let's see if we can get them in before the news time. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello. Did we lose that one?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Charles, sorry I had to call you back, but, a lot of people talk, but they don't really understand how the weather works here in Cayman. You see the weather we had in town a couple of days ago?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that affects the whole north part of the island. Listen to what I'm saying. The weather that we had in town a couple of days ago affects the whole north part of the island. The south part is like a pond, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you get bad weather in town, you're going to get the same thing in the Red Bay area. So I don't mean to disrespect Nikki or anybody else, but they are absolutely wrong about that dock in Red Bay. It's not the right place, because if the town weather wasn't affecting the whole north part of the island, then yes, I would agree with it. When you get bad weather on the south side now, it doesn't really affect the docking area in town because of how the island is shaped and how the currents are being run. It does not affect, but the weather, you have to understand, whatever weather you get in town that is affecting the whole north sound. So you can't do nothing on that side as far as putting in a dock.
Wait, are you talking about Red Bay? Or
Red Bay, yes.
But Red Bay would be unusable during a nor'wester?
Whatever weather you get in town, Charles, it's going to be the same thing on the north side in the Red Bay area. I mean, if you don't believe me, I live right on this red prospect up here.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see in town is no different from what is out here now. So you need to understand that and look on the south side. It is like glass, which tells you that would be the proper place to put the dock. I mean, I ain't no rocket scientist, but I mean, I live here all of my life. I dove these waters all of my life, spearfishing in and trying to make a living. But, I didn't have to do that. Common sense. Living here and raising here and was born here tells you everything you need to know. And I've been in the North Sound as much as anybody else. So just try to
I'm not sure whether you're talking about Red Bay, the opposite where Grand Harbor is, or you keep mentioning the North Sound too. I don't know.
It's all the same thing, Charles. North Sound, Red Bay, it's all in the same area. Where in that area would the dock go? Did anybody said to recommend it or give you a point to where the dock would be?
I just know that when we had the big thing about the dock, Red Bay was always a big candidate. By knowledgeable mariners saying that was a good place to put it. But listen, I'm over time. I got to go to the newsroom. Be right back.
All right, John.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
always love. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. International firm Morant announced today that litigators Benjamin Manchak in Guernsey and Jessica Vickers in the Cayman Islands, along with Jersey fund specialist Stephen Chinia, have been promoted to partner with effect from February 1st. Managing partner Ben Robbins says the trio have made outstanding contributions across disputes and investment funds, and their promotions follow 6 partner appointments last year as the firm continues to invest in talent across its global offices. In international news, a senior U.S. central banker says strong productivity is helping the inflation fight but may not last. Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin told reporters that output per worker appears to be running at roughly 2% year on year, easing cost pressures, but warned productivity is volatile and, quote, hard to measure, making it risky to bank on a lasting boom. With inflation still about 1 percentage point above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, Barkin backed the Fed's pause on further rate cuts for now, saying policymakers need more data before deciding how far productivity and deregulation can support growth without reigniting price pressures. In a record-breaking tech deal, Elon Musk is fusing his space and artificial intelligence empires. SpaceX confirmed on Monday it has acquired Musk's AI startup, xAI, in an all-stock transaction valuing the combined group at about $1.25 trillion. Musk says the merger will turn SpaceX Starlink network and planned orbital data centers into a global AI platform, an ambitious bet that the cheapest computing power in a few years could be generated in space, not on Earth. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and a quick weather check here. Current temperature in Georgetown, a beautiful 72 degrees with winds out of the east-northeast at just under 14 knots, and the forecast was more wind. Cloudy tonight, winds at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, and we've got rough seas running at 6 to 8 feet. A small craft alert is in effect, and the long-term forecast calls for more cool weather coming our way. And we have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Challo.
Yes, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm still hanging in there.
I hear you.
I want since the dog business come up, I want but I was had a little hand in that with Paul and Mr. McLaughlin, and also Theo Borden, all the people. I mean, he had the tenders, but he was a man that said that's where the dog should have went to begin with, Red Bay.
Red Bay.
Now, I want to say something here. This guy that was talking last, he confusing himself, because he's saying the weather you have in Georgetown, to see whether you get in Red Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't understand that because Red Bay is on the south side of the island. And the point, Georgetown Point is killing that. That's why when they got Northwestern and thing in Georgetown, the ships can go to spots. The spots is flat. And Red Bay is on the same south side of the island, so he's confusing himself.
Yeah, or that's what he's talking about is the Red Bay community.
I don't know what we're talking about a dock. We're talking about a dock. Now, listen, the plans that we had, all of us had that. I was kind of involved in it. Had for building this dock was you come into the channel at South Sound, widen the channel. You don't move the reef. You come inside the reef so many feet. I don't remember exactly how much feet it was that they had on the drawing. But you come in and you dredge, and you go east towards where where the barn was up there. You know, up that way, you go east anyway. So much feet away from the reef. You don't move the reef. You have the reef right away, but you come in and dredge. And you dredge it out completely, and you come back towards the land, and you dredge it out. We had a thing that would take 5 ships up in there. All the ships, like Mr. Hulston was saying, which would turn around easy. We had it all. It was all on paper. And the north side, on the other side, inside of the land now, they were going to use that for government for the put warehouse or put whatever they had to put there. This thing, next thing like that there. I don't know why you can do it now because of buildings or this or that. I don't know how much you can do with that now. But what I'm saying is, what the guy was saying about the Red Bay was the perfect place for it. They thought about the North Sound. Then you know what you get out of the North Sound? When you anchor the ships in the North Sound, and nobody want to destroy that anyway, but you get out of the North Sound, all the soot that's coming out of them stacks go far right over the whole island. Black in Georgetown, black.
The wind will blow it over the island.
Well, it's a northeast wind, so that's where the ships, that's where the stuff can go. You remember a couple of years back when they had the water company along the bay there? All of those pine trees got black as could be because they had these engines running. They had to cut it out and go back to the reverse osmosis system, electric osmosis system, because there was so much something coming from in there. Well, the ship would do the island the same way. You might think it's a lot of stuff coming out of them stacks when they anchor there.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening now, it's all going to sea because they're on the south side island. And if they had been in Red Bay, it would have been the same thing. Everything would have been going to sea. But that was the perfect place to put it. And I still say they should put the dock there. If they're going to build a dock, that's the only place we're going to safe dock.
But tell me something. Do you still think that Red Bay is viable with all the development that's happened around there?
Well, you got development on the other side. You got development on the other side, but you got enough space on the south side of the road still around there that you could put the facilities. And you could still build a dock there. That's where the dock need to go is there. If you're going to put a dock in the island, that's where it need to go. That's the best place for it. Only place for it. Captain Theo, you imagine Captain Theo, he had a tendering business. He's the man who said that's where the dock should be.
Yeah, I remember that a lot of experienced men, mariners, like ship's masters, that's where they said that was the best place.
I mean, I had 10.5 years out on the CSS. I sailed as a Marine for 10.5 years. I'm even 3 years old now. But what I'm telling you about is facts. That's the best part. This guy was talking a while ago. I'm not killing him or anything like that, but he's mixing up something because he's saying whether you have in Georgetown, you have on the north side of the island. I mean, Red Bay is not on the north side of the island. That's number one. That's on the south side of the island, around the corner from Georgetown. So Georgetown is blocking all of that section. Go up there when you get Northwesters.
Well, thank you for your information.
I mean, I'm 83 years old. I've been around here a lot, too. I've been walking the beach every time I was 4 or 5 years old. I see how the tides stacking this way, the sand this way, they go this way, they go that way.
You're 83 and still ticking strong.
I'm all against putting in the kind of dock in Georgetown because I'm afraid it's going to ruin the 7 Mile Beach. That's going to be number one to take charge out. We'll shift the currents. This island was built by nature, not by man. The beach wasn't built by no man.
Yeah, well, we all heard about the possibilities of affecting 7 Mile Beach during the great debate about the pier.
That's the main thing I got messed up, sir. I tell you a joke. Remember when it was building this thing down there by the Marriott it wasn't the Marriott, it was the Radisson thing or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody told them, don't put these things in the water. Don't put the things down on the beach because they're going to ruin the beach. They wouldn't stop it. Little bad weather, you get out in the northwest like that, come up. We had 2.5 feet of water up against the walls they put down. All the sand gone. Come down with some people telling them, American people, what who it was. They make balls and put a little hole in the sand.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And they came with a hole here with these big plastic strips to put down out there. And that was a hole in the sand. You know where I see them plastic strips come up? So I take my eyes and see that on the west end of Bargas, down on the beach of Bargas.
The currents took them away.
That's how the tide works with the island. But Red Bay, the only place the dock should go, and I agree with Mickey all the way. And from the time I've been saying it, I got on radio many times and said this. I was in with Captain Paul, Mr. McLaughlin, and all of them working about the dock.
All right, well, good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. I didn't want to say anything, but I had to get my little piece in about that.
All right, you take care.
Yes, sir. You too.
And we got someone else on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Charles,
Yeah,
where is Red Bay?
Red Bay. Well, it depends on what you're referring to. If you're referring to Selkirk Drive, that's one Red Bay. But you got Red Bay that is a area of water on the south side of the island.
There is an area of water on the south side that is called Red Bay.
As far as I know.
It's not, Charles. Explain to me where it is, or somebody need to explain. There is no place in South. That is South Sound, Charles. There is no part on the south side that is called Red Bay. So I don't know where they get their information from. Red Bay is on the north side.
That's the North Sound.
The north side, exactly. Where is Red Bay, Charles? I just asked you that question. Repeat it again.
As far as I know, the Red Bay that everybody's referring to is on the south side of the. You know where Grand Harbor is. If you take Grand Harbor as a point and go across the road to the water, that's Red Bay.
That's Red Bay. So that is not a part of South Sound. The Spots Dock.
It certainly goes in. It merges with it, but I think that little hook in there is Red Bay. If you look at the
Charles, in all of my days, right? South Sound has always been South Sound, and South Sound has always been on the south part of this island, right? That was never. I have never yet, in all of my days, heard that in any way called Red Bay, South Sound.
So I mean, what you're saying that Red Bay is part of the North Sound? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because that Selkirk Watler developed Red Bay. That is Selkirk Watler development, and he named it Red Bay.
Well, he named it Red Bay.
Just a bit up from Grand Harbor.
Yeah. Okay. That's the neighborhood.
Yeah. So if you're on the other side of that, on the water, you're in the South Sound area. How do you get Red Bay out of that? Red Bay.
But there is an area there called Red Bay.
What? Okay. What about Old Spots Road? Is that part of Red Bay?
No, you have me there. I'm not sure what you call Old Spots Road.
The old road right across from the back road where Dirty Reeds used to be in the back there. Remember Dirty Reeds?
Yeah.
The old back road, that was Old Prospect Road, right? You remember that?
Yeah. It goes right up to and by where the monument is and comes down. Used to come down behind Dirty Reeds.
So their argument is from that back now is considered Red Bay. That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Never. The first time I've ever heard that in my life. And I've been here so far, 7 to 6 years. I dove every inch of South Sound. I've never heard that called Red Bay. So I don't know where all of a sudden these people get Red Bay from in South Sound. And every inch of that has a different name, but it was never called Red Bay. Not in my lifetime.
So we have a debate. Where is Red Bay? That's the question of the 15 minutes that's left in the show.
How all of my learning in Cayman, because I used to be really close with the Watler family. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Selkirk, he was into real estate. He bought that whole area and he named it Red Bay.
Yeah.
That's how we got the name. That was Selkirk Watler Development.
All right. Well, listen, I got to take a break, and I got 4 people waiting on the line. So.
All right, Charles. Take care.
All right. The debate continues. Where is Red Bay? Would the real Red Bay please stand up? Be right back after this break.
Freedom, Cayman Rock. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cineco and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cineco motor insurance. Learn more and register at cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This Ash Wednesday, February 18th, celebrate harvesting harmony at the 57th Annual Cayman Islands Agriculture Show from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Food, farming, culture, and community come together at the grounds in Lower Valley. Hosted by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society and the Ministry of Agriculture. This one-day extravaganza is packed with Caymanian pride, family fun, and great prizes to be won. Don't miss it. Follow Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for all of the details.
Sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, Pepsi, Quality Feed, Ale Thompson's, Terra Vegetation and Maintenance, and Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and the question of the moment is, where is Red Bay? Now, we were talking about the road that ran in back of Dirty Reeds. To me, that water that is right there, that by that road that ran behind Dirty Reeds, is Red Bay. We have some callers. Let's see if we can get them in before we run out of time. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, Charles. Just quickly, before I know you have other people, and I agree with my friend here. I don't know how long it's been called Red Bay, but I know it's a long time. But it's part of South Sound, really, because there are many sounds on the south, many South Sounds along the southern coast of Grand Cayman. They're on the south, and there's other sounds. But where we call South Sound now would be like from, including a cemetery and the pier and so forth and the dock, and coming around to Jackson Point. But it's really Southwest Sound. That is Southwest because the westernmost of the south, the southern sounds. But that's what, if you look at the first elections in 1831 December, it's called Southwest Sound. I'm pretty sure of that. Or South, it says South Sound, but it was called Southwest Sound on the maps. but that's where the mariners talked about, would be about where Hurley's is.
Yeah.
I know some mariners may remember this. No, I'm going to be quick and say this, and I'll shut up. There was a big call for it. That was the important part for a dock and so forth. Mr. Ludwig, who owned National Bulk Carriers, and for many years, as we know, in the early 1990s and late 1980s, was the richest man in the world by far. Anyhow, he, because of his likeness for us and his respect for us, he is going to build a drawbridge across there and cut a canal from the southern side into the North Sound there. And it was a big thing. It was noted in the newspapers. I think it was like 1971, 72. He would pay for it. And many Caymanian seamen had agreed that it could be done and should be done. Now we're going to say we didn't, and most of them have passed away. But I remember it very well, and maybe somebody will call in and talk about that. We're going to build a canal there. He's going to build a drawbridge across there, a good drawbridge, well engineered. Anything he did was, and so the people could get across, and then vessels could cross. Big enough vessels, that cargo vessels could go into the Sound. Many people think that we should have the port in the Sound, and have heard them talk about that too, Caymanian seamen. So we can't deny that, and that's a debate right there. But what it was called, it doesn't matter. That was about where the dock, the 3,000-foot square all-weather port I'm talking about would be. But right there.
Am I correct in saying what you're calling Red Bay was that water right behind where Dirty Reed was?
Yes, somewhere right off there would be exactly where the plan was for that. I've seen it. It wasn't. They had it on TV. Captain Paul, Captain McCoy, and Captain Bobby Sota, and the young man, the architect who drew it out and all that, Connolly from East End, he's passed away now to at a young age, burnt, and so forth. And it would have been finished by now. We'd have had that perfect, or close to perfect. Nothing is perfect on earth.
Well, listen, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time.
Take care.
I've got a couple of callers.
You.
Okay,
you. Bye.
Take care. Let's go straight to the phones again. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello. Yes, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. Red Bay for me is wherever Mr. Surclock intended it for me to be, and behind there by Dirty Reeds. That's what I know of Red Bay.
That's where I think it to be too.
Yeah. I want to just say this today. The King Island has a lot of people living on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to a business, you expect to get treated like a human being and not insulted. I wish these foreign guest workers in my country, because I'm not apologizing for anyone, because respect is earned in the country. Respect is earned. Common sense we're all born with. I had an incident that happened at Kirk Home Center on the 17th, where I was insulted by a Filipino cashier. I approached her. I said, "Good afternoon." She said, "Good afternoon." And then she looks at me and tells me, "I look Filipino." I told her that was an insult and she should go back where she came from.
But where were you insulted by that?
Because I don't look Filipino, nor do I sound Filipino, Mr. Glidden. If you can't tell a Caymanian from a Filipino, it's very sad.
But
I find it happening more and more in this country.
Way.
Well, it insulted me, and there were 3 Caymanian ladies, one behind me waiting to check out, and 2 other ones on the other cashier that butted into the conversation. And they didn't like it either. They thought it was disrespectful. And I'm trying to get the management at Kirk Home Center to understand that, but apparently they don't seem to understand it. Because when you go into a business, people are not going in to beg nobody or steal anything. At least I'm not. I go to buy something.
But let me ask you
And
something,
if,
though. Let me ask you
if you're going to tell me that I'm a Filipino, you don't need to be in my country. I'm sorry.
But you don't
This is
think
the
that maybe
divide
she was
that
just
Caymanians
making
have with foreigners.
she was just making conversation with you? Maybe she just
Cashiers shouldn't do that to make conversation with someone because some Caymanians would have went off a lot on it. I simply called for management, and Miss Mary did nothing. Miss Mary Scotland sent me on my way. She told me, now she listened to what I had to say, her and the Indian, wherever they were supervisors or managers, and they did nothing about it. Miss Mary looked at me and said, now go on your way. One of those Caymanian ladies waited till I got out of Cork Home Centre and asked me what Miss Mary said, and I told her. She said, what did Miss Mary do? I said, Miss Mary listened, and Miss Mary told me to go on my way. And she said, yeah, that's all that had ever happened. You know, we have to understand that we don't have the amount of Caymanians to fill jobs in this country, but those that work and immigration is allowing Mr. Glidden into this country, we need to do a better screening process.
well, you might consider that the person was not trying to insult you. She was just making a comment. I mean, it might have been innocently said.
The comment that was made, it insulted me as a
Well,
Caymanian because you already know we are far a few in this country, and foreigners think that we don't have a right to be in our country. That's the problem I find with foreigners.
All right. Well, I guess you're sensitive to that, so. But
Of course, I would be sensitive, just like somebody said to me, why are you wearing that old Caymanian T-shirt for? You wouldn't get offended by it either? Oh, I certainly would. But anyway, customer service goes a long way. And I told the people at Kirk, I expect somebody to do something about it. Because if they don't, I'm not coming back to shop at Kirk.
all right. Well, listen, I got to get another caller in here. I got to get another caller in here because I'm almost out of time.
By the way, the studio looks top notch.
Well, thank you very much. They did a good job.
Well done.
They did a good job.
Yes, sir. Excellent.
You take care.
You too, sir. Goodbye.
All right. Let's see if we can get probably what is our last caller in.
Yeah, Chalo.
Yes.
Okay, listen, I think what happened with the Red Bay business, everybody kind of says the dock going Red Bay. Really, I tell you the honest truth, it's really more, the dock would have been going more, I think, in South Sound. But the South Sound butts into Red Bay. It goes right up the way, Dr. Reed, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
That right up to there is Red Bay.
Yeah, that water behind where Dirty Reeds was, that's where I think of Red Bay.
Yes, that is Red Bay's water behind there. It joins up in the South Sound water. Now, you know, the dock wouldn't, I have to say, the dock wouldn't be going exactly in Red Bay. It'd probably be in the South Sound. But it's going up, like I said, when I said dredging out, going east, you're going up towards Dirty Reeds. So it's going up towards Red Bay, right?
Okay.
That's what the whole thing was. That's the whole thing. More, I guess, you said the dock go Red Bay. Well, I don't know. If I said it going Red Bay, that was a kind of mistake of mine. But the dock was really planned for South Sound. But it went towards Red Bay because the dredging of it was coming the channel. Like I said, it wasn't moving the reef or nothing. Coming so far in from the reef and dredging it out and leaving a section of the reef out there for a breakwater thing and come in. But that on that side of the island is smooth. You use that 85-90% of the year because you don't got no big seas and stuff coming in from the south side like that. And when you get the northwesters, that side is blocked because it is flat. But that's on the south side of the island. The Red Bay that this guy talking about is up there now on the side with Hurley's where they got some development in there. I know one lady that lived there, and I said, "Rocks, she live Red Bay." They call it Red Bay, like you said, because this guy named it that because it was opposite of the Red Bay.
It's a development.
Yes. So that is why the Red Bay thing come in.
Yeah, but if you look on the map, there's a little hook there, a little curve, a point.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's where we're talking about Red Bay. But during, the talk about moving the port, Red Bay was always the name that was used. That was always, what was said. But listen, I'm out of time. I'm out of time, and I think we've located where Red Bay now.
Okay, Shallow. Have a good weekend. I'm still ready to bed, but you go and have a good weekend. I'm not going to get back on it, so you take care.
All right, you have a good one. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Red Bay thing straightened out, I think. Thank you for tuning in. All the callers, thanks for calling and contributing. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.